Allah, don't let me stray. Please guide my way onto the path of my deen. Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I'm your host, Arkham Rashid. Many of us love watching and playing sports, but sometimes when our team loses, we lose it. We tend to get angry and get into arguments and physical fights with each other over our team or the game. Now, while it's important to enjoy watching our team or playing sports, it's very important that we don't let them take a hold of our emotions. We don't let the games control our emotions. So on tonight's episode, our discussion will be around how our behavior should be while we play sports or while we watch sports. So I'm going to start off as usual by letting my guests introduce themselves. If I can start with my right brother, if I can get you to give us your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Nabil Ahmed. I am from Pakistan. So I am studying here in Azhar University, the Faculty of Language and Islamic Studies.
Islamic Studies. And how long have you been here in Egypt?
I spend, in fact, I get junior secondary and senior secondary. So now I am studying in college. So I spend 8 years here.
8 years. And how are you liking Egypt so far?
I like Egypt so much, because in the way of talim, in the side of education, Egypt is very good, and also professors, teachers, and my classmates also, they have helpful with us.
And how would you compare it to Pakistan?
In fact, Egypt is Arabic country. So Pakistan, a Muslim country, their scholars and students, they know Arabic. But basically Egypt is Arabic. So that's why I prefer Egypt to study here, because I maintain my Arabic language, and also I achieve a good destination in Islamic
studies and education.
Yes, studies.
And where in Pakistan are you from?
I am from Lahore.
Okay, my mother's from Karachi.
Okay, thank you.
Brother, if I can get you to give us your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ismail Charawali from Sierra Leone. I'm also a student at Al-Azhar University. I graduated last year, and now I'm doing languages and translation master's degree. I've spent around 5-6 years in Egypt, in the university. So.
And how are you liking Egypt so far?
Yes, it's a good country. You have a lot of people here, friendly people from different countries. So I can say a cosmopolitan country. You have a lot of people.
I'm glad to see both of you guys so far enjoying Egypt.
Yeah.
I want to welcome both of you guys to the show. I want to go over to this side. Brother, if I can get your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
My name is Ahmed Honest Kashiri. People call me Honest usually. I'm from the US, and in Egypt right now I'm studying in Al-Azhar University.
Alright, mashallah. And where in the US are you from?
California, Los Angeles.
Alright, Brother Honest, I want to welcome you to the show. Brother, if I can get your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Abdullah Atioli. I'm come from Brazil. And I comparing to you, maybe I just a baby born here in Egypt, because I came here last year, in the end of the year. So I have been here catching up to trying to learn Arabic language and Quran. And I am having good time, and I'm very appreciate too much to come here to Huda TV. It's also good chance and a good opportunity to know about Islam.
And we're extremely happy to have you on Huda TV here.
Thanks a lot.
I want to welcome all you brothers once again to the show. Now, before we begin our conversation, we're going to quickly watch a short video clip, and then we'll start our discussion, inshallah.
How perfect my Allah is. ways. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah, how perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Physical toughness, strength, absence of luxurious living are virtues that should be present in every Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, while there is good in both." And Muslim collected it in his Sahih. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan had the following to say about physical strength and its relation to our belief and actions. The believer who is strong in his belief, body and actions is better than the weak believer, the one who has weak belief or a weak body or weak actions. That is because the strong believer is productive and accomplishes things for the Muslims, and thus they benefit from his physical strength, actions and strong belief. So this hadith is an encouragement to have strength, as Islam is the religion of strength, the religion of honor, the religion of prestige. So the strength that is sought from us in Islam is strength in belief and its tenets, as well as strength in our actions and our bodies, because all of this brings forth good things for the Muslims. The believer who has strong belief is more likely to be fit and in shape. This is because he understands the importance of striving and staying in shape in preparation for it, while the weak believer may easily get fat and out of shape from his overeating and laziness. Physical strength is a direct result of strength in belief.
Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Now I'm going to start off with asking Brother Nabil, I want to ask you, what's your favorite sport to play?
Our country sports is great, but I like football.
Which football? Soccer or American football?
Yeah. So football is very good for body. It is maintain fitness, and you remain you always active, and also it is good for health.
Do you like watching any sports, or?
I like also cricket and football, but not very much.
You don't like watching as much as playing?
I like playing.
You like playing more?
Yeah.
How about you, Brother Ismail?
Well, actually, for me, I should say football is my favorite sport. I like football so much, When I was young, actually, I used to play football, but now there is no time for me to do so. But I do follow a lot of sports, especially football. And my favorite team in Europe is Chelsea. Yeah.
Chelsea. All right. If I can go over to this side, Honest, what sports do you like watching and playing?
I like a variety of sports, basically. So now basketball, or I think the brother talking about soccer, in our terms. So yeah, I like watching basketball because that's really what I used to watch before, back in the day. So it was more basketball. I started playing soccer as well, here and there, and yeah, it's all about soccer and basketball for me.
All right. Brother Abdullah, I'm guessing soccer.
No, me myself, people expect me to say I love football. But despite the fact that I'm Brazilian, I like football really, but for practicing, I think I would prefer swimming. Because maybe I was born side by the river, so for me it's much more funnier to go for swimming than football. But I do appreciate sometimes I can watch, but I would prefer to go swimming. I think if swimming is complete sport because all the body, all the muscles,
it works everything out.
Being involved in this activity. I think it's better as activity is better than than football,
football.
for instance.
And you like watching what, football or?
Well, no, we study, no have too much time for that. But especially when the World Cup, I would watch during those events like the World Cup and
Major events.
maybe the final match. Maybe I would watch.
Me personally, I don't like watching sports. I can't do it. I can't sit there and watch somebody kick a ball or throw a ball. That's just a personal thing. So I want to start off by asking you, Brother Nabil, what are some of the benefits of playing sports or watching sports?
In fact, playing, I think that there is a difference between playing and watching.
Clearly.
So, playing football is maintain your body and always remain you active and healthy. So, it is also important for a Muslim that he remain himself
Active and healthy.
active and healthy.
As we saw in that video.
Yeah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also like the person who is healthy and active in ibadat or in worship. So playing is very good for fitness, for mind and body, and watching is good, but if we spend the many time in watching is not good. It become you lazy, and also you waste your time in watching. So if someone have a very important match or final match or World Cup like this or championship, so no problem. But if someone waste his time in watching, I think
it's not.
Awareness is good.
Yeah. Brother Ismail, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, actually, sports in particular is something that is very much important, I don't take it in the aspect of people, just like because I watch, I like football, No, but the doctors themselves, they always advise us that you have to practice, you have to do exercises, So, for me, I believe that football is the best until today, because it makes the world come together, despite some differences that people, countries have, but in terms of this occasion, everybody comes together. We see Italy, we see, like England, Germany, they all come together. So it's very much important. And in the individual, actually, I believe that if we, devote some of our time in, sports, not only to watch, but for you to have something to do.
Yeah.
There are too many things that we can do to exercise. Some people think that, okay, we are talking about football, or we are talking about cricket, or we are talking about other sports. Okay, maybe I don't take part in any now. But there are some other things that I can do to exercise. Like in my house, I never take the lift. I don't do that. Even when I come to the metro, these rolling steps, I always walk. Because that makes me to feel like, I'm exercising every day. But if you have the facility, like you have the lifts, you have everything, you don't exercise, that's a big problem. And that's actually what we saw there in the video. Because people today have a lot of facilities, so they believe that, okay, because I have my car, I have a lot of things, so we have too many problems of, health problems because we don't practice. So I believe that sports is something that is very, very much important for everybody. So we should have some time, like on Fridays after Juma prayer, especially for the youth. If you have a small club, for example, that you play football together, or cricket, like my friend is from Pakistan, or some other things, so they can help you to come together, to like each other. Also, it helps you to improve your health.
And it creates a brotherhood bond.
Yes.
But at the same time, wouldn't you say creating that bond with your team would create hatred towards other teams?
Oh yes, that also is a big problem, because today we see a lot of things that we don't expect, because why now the international communities, for example, the UN also supports sports, because this is one of the the means that can bring peace to people, between nations.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you just for 1 second. We have a phone call from Brother Hussam from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Akram,
Yes.
I wanted to congratulate you and all of your guests about this nice program. And also, I like your topic very much, which is sports. Actually, I'm not like a sportsman, but I like swimming so much. And I only wanted to thank all of you.
All right. First of all, I want to thank you for calling in and joining our program. We appreciate it. And secondly, we also appreciate your feedback and your great comments about my guest here.
Jazakumullah khairan.
Jazakumullah khair. Okay. So, Brother Ismail, I'm going to let you continue. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, of course, you asked me about the disadvantages today that we see, like fighting. I was disappointed when I saw, in the last few days there was a match, Chelsea in France. And
your team,
the
fans
issue
push
of the
somebody off
metro.
the metro.
And not only that, not only clubs. There are countries also today who believe that a match means a match.
Yeah.
It means you have to win. If you do not win, you are in trouble. That's not the issue. Sports is not something like a military or a war. We must have someone that wins and someone that loses. So it doesn't matter. If I win, then I have to, be very kind to the person that's,
The lost.
Yes. So that's what I believe that we should do. But like we see today, people sitting like in the cafes, like especially here in Egypt, fighting each other because of, their clubs. This is not actually what the sports, means. It means peace. It means unity. It's all about bringing people together, creating happiness. That's what I believe that we should do. And so it's good because we see that in Brazil, in England, in many countries. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move the question over to this side. What do you guys think? What are the benefits of watching and playing sports? Go ahead.
Yeah, the brother here, he took all my points basically. So, yeah, sports per se is like a communal social activity, whereas it collects the community together and it bonds brotherhoods together. It's very social in its aspect where you interact with your teammates or your players in a team, for especially for team sports, and that goes into like character development. For example, you develop social skills, you develop this concept of sportsmanship where you accept to lose and to win at the same time, because when there's a winner, there's bound to be a loser, basically. So you have to learn that we're going to cultivate that attribute, and after sportsmanship, we learn to respect each other's efforts, in giving a good game.
What if the other person didn't give a good game?
I mean, he showed up, so it's all about respect, sportsmanship. We learn to also, could you go ahead?
Oh, I think we have mentioned the good points and bad points, and it's remarkable. All of have been told, especially that nowadays we live in the modern society, modern cities. So if we think about the Sahaba, the past, they used to be farming or going like shepherd. They do many activities.
Exercises.
Yes, and as his brother says, we take car and you go someplace, or you stay the whole morning, you stay reading a book, reading Quran, and you after that you feel your body, you need something. But even like that, when I was invited to come, the first thing that I thought that itself Islam has some activity like salat. When we perform salat, for people that we spend most of the time reading or in the classroom, that alhamdulillah we have the salat. Even if you talked about the Hajj, this is
Yes.
It's
Exercise within
exercise. That you have to walk, you climb, you go many places. It's like when I thought about that, I think like a spiritual marathon, like something like that.
Also fasting, it's a cleanse for your body.
Everything like why the way Islam is so beautiful, so perfect. And also the bad point is much like the bad side of the sport is like it can disclose to people, disclose the rivalry and the competition, unfair competition.
Yes.
So what should be, like we have seen, his brother says, is developing social skills and uniting people. It can divide people. Like there's in Brazil, say people from Brazil and Argentina, there's a big derby, right? So people say, I don't like people from Argentina. I just say, why you don't like? But if you ask them, they say, well, I don't know, because they beat Brazil so many times or things like that.
So he just hates somebody from another place just because their team beat his team.
So I think this is the main problem and the danger about the sports. That nowadays the competition is too hard.
Yes.
And what's supposed to join people, like even to extreme the nationalities, things like that. I think this is the danger. So we have to take this in the right way, the right amount of this in our life. Like
it has to be balanced. Now I want to ask you, why do you think people take these sports too seriously, as if, if their team loses, as if somebody tried to kill them, or it's way too serious. It's not a game anymore. But before that, we're going to go for a short break, so stay tuned.
Perfect, my Elias, and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanallahi, how perfect you are, Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
It's welcome again from me, from your host Ismail Bullock, and from your host
Gabriel Romani. The parents have to encourage their kids to get married, and at the same time, support them.
What many people don't understand is that seeking knowledge in itself is ibadah. And Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, لَأَنْ أَطْلُبُ الْعِلْمَ سَاعَةً أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْ أَلْفِ رَكَعَةٍ. That I seek knowledge for an hour is better and more beloved than 1,000 rak'ah, which means 1,000 rak'ah.
The real meaning of La ilaha illallah is not there's no God but God. La ma'bud bihaqqin illallah. That is, if you want to note it down, that is the real meaning of La ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I remember as a Christian, when I was a Christian before, they have this whole issue of your cross, you have to wear your cross, this will protect you, and if it breaks, something wrong will happen to you, and the icons, and put an icon in your wallet.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Now, before the short break, our question was, why do people take sports so seriously, almost as if they would die for their team? So I was asking Brother Abdullah, and I'm going to let him answer that question. Go ahead, Brother Abdullah.
I think that the main reason is one lack of purpose in the life of people. Like, if our struggling is to get the world better, if you have this in mind, we will not be replacing our struggle to be fighting against another fan or another team. So I think that sometimes you see people very excited, overexcited, but maybe they are trying to find their challenge. They don't know exactly where they are challenged, because their challenge is not to only, you're not playing against, we are playing with, but our challenge is to improve our life and our society and our environment. So sometimes people, I would say that they're over-evaluating the sport, that more than it should be regarded. So over-regarding that.
So it's a matter of priority, you would say?
It's a matter of priority. We have to have in our life our priority. So when the people don't have them very clear, they will started to replace the priority in another matter, another issue. So yeah, the most misunderstand about that, I think, is concerning this.
All right. Would you guys like to add anything to that?
So, in fact, there are two things: patience and respect. So, if you are giving the more respect, more than the respect to the person, you are giving this to game. So it is not good. And there is patience. If you are losing your patience during the match, watching or playing, so you will lose your respect for others. So first of all, we have suggest, or we have take care in both things, that the respect is more important, or the match, or the team. So if I break the hearts of my brothers, or or winners or losers, so it is not good. We should take winning or losing with patience and with respect. So if the other teams they lose the match, we should give them congratulations. We should participate, encourage them. We participate in their sorrow, or they are worried, or at least we can say sorry. So if we lose, or if they win, we can say them congratulations. So we should participate with them in both conditions, in winning or in losing. And other thing is, we take everything with patience. We should not lose our patience during watching match or during playing match. So if I am a player, or I am a spectator, or I'm watching, so we should not say any words to my brother, or to that his heart feel not good, or he feel that it is not good, because winning and losing, everything is from Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is giver. And so we take everything with patience and with respect.
Okay. Go ahead, Brother Ismail.
Yes, I just want to support his argument. He said something that is very much important. Because when you lose your patience in the match, for example, someone in the pitch, if they lose their patience in the match, definitely they're going to take a red card. We see that too many times, because you are going to do something that is against the rules and regulations of the match. So what I believe that people should do when they play whether football or tennis or whatever, they should understand that it's just a matter of creating fun and bringing people together, like my brother said there. It's not to create difference, to separate people. No. Just 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, we had the African Cup of Nations, which took place in Equatorial Guinea. And the winning country was Ivory Coast. You see, they've been trying over the years. They went into the finals, but they didn't make it up. And actually, I respect them so much. Despite, they had Drogba, who is one of the world's best. They didn't win. He left international match. This year, that he didn't participate, they won. So all is that surrounds sports is about making people feel happy. So if you lose, please do not cause any problem, because we will not have two winners at the same time. People should understand this, but the case now is different with especially the youth today. Whenever they go to watch football, they are going there not in the with the intention to watch and feel happy. They are going there to try to hurt other people, to say some things that actually create problems. Some time ago, I think it was 2008, something like this. I was reading the BBC website, and when somebody took a whole car after the finishing of the match between Arsenal and another team in Europe, and he drove this car right in the people. So he killed a lot of people. I ask myself always why people behave in this way. Sports is one of those, the most social, activities that we should always respect. Because someone from Sierra Leone is brought together with someone from Kenya, someone from Kenya with someone from maybe the U.S. So we all come together, we know each other, and of course, people who play sports, in the long run, they have, the mind stability. They are smart.
I'm gonna have to hold you again once again. We have a phone call, Brother Sharif from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, go ahead, brother. I want to thank you for calling in and joining our conversation. Go ahead. What would you like to share with us?
You're welcome. You're welcome. I want to say that Islam is not encouraging people about violence. So, what is the point of view of Islam about the sports, the violent sports like judo or kung fu or kickboxing? I see that all these sports are very violent, and sometimes the players might hurt themselves severely. So, what's the opinion of Islam about this?
Okay, the first thing is that for an Islamic opinion question, you're going to have to ask Dr. Salah on Ask Huda, but as a general question, whether or not we can practice these sports, I mean, it's a form of self-defense, and Islam does encourage self-defense. So in that scenario, as in to learn it, to protect yourself, your family, as an exercise, then I don't see a problem with it. But as far as watching these sports and their violence, you're going to have to ask Dr. Salah on his Ask Huda channel. So now, are you still with us? Okay. Brother Ismail, go ahead. I'll let you continue.
Okay, so it's rather very unfortunate today. What we see prevails today whenever we play sports. Instead of bringing people together, making them happy, we try to separate them, and this it's very, very much disappointing. But I believe that we have to also think about something else, when we talk about sports, because sometimes the right is not given to the person who deserves it.
Who deserves it, yeah.
So here, it makes people, become very angry, because when you see that your team is doing good, is performing very well, and in the end, everybody sees that, what is going on, like the referee is being biased and is doing something. So, you feel like, oh my God, this is not sports. So also, we have to make sure that in the sports, whether in the field or whether the people who manage, like FIFA, whatever, they give the right to people who deserve it. Not the wrong people, because that cannot only affect the body of FIFA or the organization, but also it affects the youth of the country, because when they see that, okay,
they feel that they're discriminated against.
Yes, exactly. So it's very, very much important that we try to correct these mistakes sometimes.
Some good points you mentioned there. Honest, if I can ask you, if you had a friend or a teammate who gets angry very quickly, what advice would you give him?
I would tell him basically it's just a game, It's just a game. It's temporary, life will still go on, basically. And you can go all serious and everything, but if you're playing with like non-serious people that are playing, like for example, for fun, basically. So we're basically here for the fun of it, And when you're playing,
that's what people who suck say.
So there are people that really go for the competition of it, that really enjoy the competition, and people that are there just for the fun of it. So you just have to know your surroundings and just really have to understand that, we're just for the fun of it. So you really have to be accepting of how the situation is, basically. So and at the end it's still a game, so life goes on.
Another thing I find really weird is that sometimes when people exaggerate, exaggerate the loss of their team, I feel like, whether your team wins or loses, it's not like you're making the money. Those millions of dollars are going to those players, not you. You can win or lose. You can prepare for weeks for your match, right? Like, it's going to come up at 9 o'clock. When you watch it, your team wins. It's not like all your support, everything, you don't get anything out of it. You don't get any of the money that the team earns. You don't get to see the trophy. You don't get the trophy, nothing. So I feel like it's kind of useless in that aspect to over-exaggerate it. It goes back to the point Brother Abdullah was saying about how they need to get their priorities straight.
Even the players and the team, they don't know about him. Even his name or his relation or his anything. And he is getting angry with others and making violent and fighting. So it is not good.
So, okay, what advice would you give to a teammate who gets very angry, or a friend of yours who plays with you but gets very angry and takes his sports way too serious?
I advise him that first of all he should not make like these things, and other things he take the match as an enjoyment, because the teams and playing and sports, it's not means that they are going to divide the society, or they are giving you a division among the minds and the peoples.
It's like what Brother Ismail said. It's something that should unite people.
It is an enjoyment. So you take it as an enjoyment, and don't become angry with others, and don't show them that you are very angry and you like very much sports. Perhaps the other person, he like more than you, but he has patience, and he take the winning and losing everything with bravely. So we should not, I will advise, we should not take any violent, and we accept the winning and losing with braveness.
I feel like if we were to tell our friends or our teammates that playing sports can be rewarding. We can gain reward from God by playing these sports because it's healthy, it's good exercise. It can be a means of reward. Now, when we transgress or when we start arguing or fighting over this, it becomes a means of getting bad deeds instead of it being reward. So now, what I would advise to what I would advise to my friends is that once you see yourself not behaving well, sit out. Or make a deal with yourself, kind of, because you're the only one that would know that if I misbehave during a match, I'm not going to play the next game, or I won't watch the next game. And I feel like once you don't watch the next game or sit out for the next game, then you feel, I don't want to do this anymore because I want to play. so I'm going to control my anger, or I won't get into an argument with so-and-so, or I won't get into a fight. I feel like you need to watch over yourself and, you know, like you said, get your priorities straight.
Just to add to that, I believe that sports is not something personal, you know. People are taking this as something that is personal. Like my brother said here, if we are watching a match, I mean, we are just watching. We don't have anything to do with it. The person that is responsible is the team captain or the people, you know, the organization there. So what I should do is to watch. I enjoy. If I lose, I go home. I have a cup of tea, something like this, you know, but not to fight, you know. But this is now common, you know, in many countries, when especially if it's a final match. My God. And the other thing also, the newspapers, now the media, has a lot of things, involvement in matches today, because they try to exaggerate things. You know, they are talking. They say a lot of things that are not true, and when the youth, the young people, they read this information, this wrong information, they have this, you know, so they go to misbehave. It's not because they are going to fight against that team because they can never reach any player, but they are going to try to, you know, to destroy, you know, maybe if they are watching in a place that's owned by the government, if they destroy like the stadium or whatever, that particular action they took could not affect the team, but rather it could affect the country itself. So what they should do is to make sure that we go to watch a match, and then with respect, if we win, okay. If you lose, go home. Don't fight. Don't cause any problem. And in terms of the religion, just one moment, Islam is, is the religion, the perfect religion. You know, you understand. The brother was asking there, of course, you gave him the right answer. You understand? We are not here to talk about things that relating to fiqh, you understand? But we should understand that the sports, you know, here is very much important because it builds you. It makes you become very fit. You know, it improves your health. So if that is important for the individual, it's also important for the society, because if someone has something to do, like they play, not only about improving also your health, but also now we have thousands of people who are employed in clubs, they are employed in sports. So we cannot see that only as something that is against Islam. It's not against Islam, because we have thousands of Muslim players who now play like in Europe, they play like in Asia. So all that also brings a lot of return to their own people, you know, because they are paid billions of dollars or millions of dollars. So we can't say, no, this is not good. We can't be, but if the man who wanted to know much about that, I think it's better to contact people who have the idea in this particular topic.
Brother Abdullah, you wanted to add something to that?
Yes, I think that if I would advise, would say the same way, that if our team win or lose, our salary is going to be the same. Maybe their salary is different, but especially that sport, like everything in life, in Islam helps you to know. You have to take the good portion. For instance, the milk. Milk is very good for the health. But if you drink from that too much, you got sick. And the sport, like you're saying, we have to know what's the benefit and what's not the benefit. And Islam advises us to practice sport. And also the time Prophet ﷺ, they used to practice wrestling. And once it's reported that said that every action that's not in the intention of Allah is idle play, except there are 4 things, and among those things there are swimming, to practice swimming. They used to arrow and the bow to walk from one target to the other target. So also it should be like a minor issue to talk about the sport, but no, it's you get to know what is Islam, because Islam is also to get the middle path and understand the right things for life. Islam helps us even to how to appreciate the sport, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Brother Anis, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, it was all about the moderation, you know, taking things of what is benefit up to its limit, you know, and whatnot. And you learn lots of things from the benefits, like sportsmanship, you know, as what I said, communal gatherings with the people. And as last Ramadan, my local masjid had participated in a joint masjid soccer competition because the World Cup happened in Brazil, is what happened, and that World Cup brought up hype. You know, everyone wanted to play soccer, you know, in America, because soccer in America is an upcoming sport, you know. And you know, mashallah, it was like probably you'd say it's like Hajj or something, because you see like so many Muslims all together, you know. It's very communal. You'll have it's all organized
unity
as well.
And brotherhood.
Yeah, it's all the unity and brotherhood in one part. So it's all about the brotherhood. It keeps it all together.
Did you play or?
Yeah, I played as well.
Did you win?
No, I lost. It's all right.
What advice would you give, you know, to people who get angry during these games, right? What advice would you give them?
I'd just tell them to keep it calm, you know, because as I said, you know, it's just a game, you know. It's just a game, and life still goes on, you know. This game is for the fun of us all together, the benefit of the game. It's for your own personal benefit as well, you know, if you want to get fit as well. So it benefits everyone, and you should think of it as that way, in that positive attitude before, you know. So all for the fun of it, you know, as entertainment and for everyone, basically.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so we can't continue this conversation, but I had a lovely discussion with you guys here. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here on Let's Talk for this wonderful conversation about sports. And I want to thank you, dear viewers, for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk. I hope you guys benefited from tonight's program, especially because it's a topic that, you know, is relevant to most of us. We all watch or play sports. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can also suggest future topics to us through our Facebook page at facebook.com/letstalkofficial. And until next time, may God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. Your mercy is great.